Hello guys, and welcome back into another episode of the Assassin's Creed Origins Discovery Tours. Today we should be learning about islands, but I'm not sure exactly what islands. Let's have a look. Islands of Pharos. Okay, let's have a look.
Welcome to the Islands of Pharos. The Heptastadion was a bridge-like causeway connecting the island of Pharos to mainland Alexandria. Its name is based on the Greek terms of measurement, hepta meaning 7, and stadion, which is a measure of length of roughly 180 meters.
Okay, so the bridge we are at is probably much smaller in scale in the game as it was, because on the picture on here, you can see it was quite impressive, and that was the island. Must be, yeah, it's only this long on in the game. Let's have a look.
Since its construction would separate the Grand Port to the east and the port of Eunostos to the west, it was designed with channels at each end. These openings allowed passage from one port to the other.
Yes, as you see in the okay, so that's still a depiction only, but it must have been much larger in scale. The game doesn't really give it justice. However, it's true to what was going on the side. So that's one port. Now I assume the other one is right there. Just the bridge itself is not as long in length. There's the palace of Cleopatra right there.
Along with creating separate harbors for the commercial and military shipping, the causeway served as a main aqueduct for the island's inhabitants. Its presence also helped protect the island and its ports from rough wind and sea currents. At the end of antiquity, the Heptastadion disappeared under layers of silt and soil, which formed an important sedimentary deposit.
Interesting. Now, yet again, we can't call horse in these corridors, but that's not a problem. If this was an aqueduct, where was the water going? Or did I... Am I completely wrong? That must be the bridge, right? And I don't understand how this can be aqueduct. But apparently it was. Oh, okay, let's just go to the next station then. To learn more. Okay, so that seems to be something quite important, as I was hoping before. Or was sure we can learn about this later on for sure. I guess now's the time.
While the Serapeum was the most celebrated of the temples in Alexandria, many other temples were built within the city. Most of these structures have been completely erased over time, and there is no way to discern how many existed. However, research of ancient papyri offer tantalizing hints as to the possible location of at least some of the temples.
Okay, so here again they used a generic picture for the description. It doesn't really matter, we've seen that picture before, but so what? They probably don't expect somebody's gonna actually look at all of the discovery tours, all of them, and notice there's two of the same pictures, but it's not a problem. However, this was a temple, of course, of some kind. There were more than one in the city. The main one was the Serapeum, of course, which is probably down there. You can see it from here. But there were plenty more all around.
Both papyri and coins reveal evidence of many temples built for the gods. Poseidon, the god of the sea, likely had an edifice in his honor west of this island, as well as on the mainland. This temple next to you is dedicated to Isis Pharia, the divine protector of the lighthouse. This location hosted annual celebrations in the month of April, known as the Sacrum Feria, in connection to the lighthouse. In her incarnation as Iset Fortuna, the goddess carries a rudder and a cornucopia, both symbols of good luck for navigators.
Alright, a temple dedicated to goddess who's protecting the lighthouse. I guess people didn't give her enough of gifts and of prayers, because the lighthouse is of course gone. Or perhaps people stopped believing in her and that's when she didn't care anymore. And now we lost that. Let's go next station.
Considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, the Lighthouse of Alexandria was a source of great pride for the inhabitants of the city. Construction began under Ptolemy I's reign and lasted 15 years. It was completed during his son's rule. Once completed, the lighthouse was dedicated to the gods for the salvation of those who sail the sea.
Well, I do certainly understand why this will be at the pride of the city, despite of all the great buildings. But I don't know. I probably will spend a lot of time myself if I was a citizen at the time in Alexandria. Certainly as much as I could, possibly, because this is just simply amazing. And back in the day, this must have been mind-blowing. Something of that scale. Like we're still at distance, and you can certainly tell that's no small building. Actually, I'm quite impressed. It wasn't more than 15 years. I mean, 15 years. Considering that this is really in ancient times, I will say that's actually very fast.
Built on the island of Pharos, the stone structure was 3 tiers set on top of one another in a step formation. The second floor consisted of an octagonal tower, and the top floor was a cylindrical tower topped by a statue. The interior provided space for staff rooms and a ramp which allowed the transport of fuel to the upper floors.
Well, there you go.
Essential to safe navigation through the rifts and shallow waters, the Pharos was a functioning lighthouse with a beam reportedly visible 50 kilometers away. It's unclear what kind of fuel was used or how much. Any other details of how the light worked remain a mystery.
So of course, apologies, we are on the Pharos right now, so that's why, and that was the main building on there, so it was all about the lighthouse really.
For several centuries, the Pharos was one of the highest monuments ever built by man. It measured roughly 110 meters in height, compared to the Pyramid of Giza, which was around 140 meters tall. Gradually, the structure was eroded by earthquakes, and then completely destroyed in 1480 CE, when a fort was built over it. Archaeological excavations on the seabed have uncovered many blocks from the ancient building.
So the coin, or the picture of the coin, will suggest it was even on the coin essentially depicted the lighthouse, and I do see why. Yeah, 110 meters in ancient times. Okay, it's still smaller than the pyramids, but then again, this is actual building. You know, with the floors, windows, etc. A functional building. People can go into and accommodate a lot of people if necessary. But essentially, I do understand it was only lighthouse, but it was also a garrison, I would imagine, for soldiers. No, well, there must be a session for the lighthouse alone, I will assume. Should we climb it now, or no? There must be. This one was about the islands, so I'll have a trust in the developers and everybody else. There must be a session for this alone. So for now, Paid in Blood, signing out.